Hello, welcome back to the YouTube channel. MFJJ here with PodiumArcher.com, looking at the 2026 Elite VAROS. Before we look at this bow, please go buy this bow from your local pro shop. Don't buy it from me. You need to support your local shop. It's a relationship you've got to work on, you've got to get better at. Even if you've had a bad experience, please give them another chance. Someday you're going to need that shop to be there, and if you're not supporting that shop, they won't be. If you're going to buy it online, only if you're going to buy it online, PodiumArcher.com. For all those archery needs, $99 and up is free shipping. And coupon code MFJJ may save you a little money. Now, first bow out of the gate for Elite this year. They're doing a bit of a staggered launch, so there are a couple other bows, I guess, but they're launching them farther down the road. This is an improvement over last year's bow, in my opinion, for a couple of reasons. One, it is a little lighter. They've definitely cut a lot of meat out of here. But one thing about Elite and the way their system's built, it's gonna be a little heavier, and there's kind of no real way around it. They got a lot of weight in that limb pocket that they can't get around, but you're getting features out of them in exchange for that. And 4.5 pounds isn't terrible. It's just a bit on the heavy side in my opinion, but we'll weigh it here in a minute and find it out. Set technology, been around forever. It does work. You still may have to use a spacer at some point to move your cam a little left and right, because this is more of a fine-tuning device, not a coarse device. New timing feature that was on the Target bow that released, the Exalt LD. This is your ability to change your timing without pressing the bow. Cool feature. It's kind of a cryptic little, I'm not going to say knockoff of the old steel cable system that Martin made way back when. Looks just like it. Very, very, very similar. Super excited on that because that does make this whole job a little easier on the tuning features. Do you have a front mount pick, rear mount IMS, integrated quiver systems, integrated V-bar system, lots of integration and specific features. Got clamp-on systems on the front mount picks, so you can put bipods on it, etc. Lots of different options. So I appreciate Elite doing those things. I want to say it's 1/4 inch adjustments and a whole bunch of let-off adjustment, if I remember right. It goes up to 90%, I think down to 75, all different in the peg. So you can really, really precisely set this thing to exactly where you want it. They also do have the roller guard that's adjustable as well for wheeling that you can bring in or out a little bit. They do have larger axle assemblies in there, which is cool. I think just about everybody's gone to that anymore. Still a knee clip system. So let's see what our stats are on this bow. So 32-inch axle-to-axle bow with a 6 5/8 inch brace height at 4.55 pounds. Rates 338 feet a second at a $12.99 price tag. Let's measure some of that. Oh, goes from 26.5 to 31 inches. Hey, you! Yeah, you! Jeff just told me a statistic that makes me very, very sad. 60 to 70% of you are not subscribed to our channel. Now here's the deal. I'm going to incentivize you. You ready for it? If we can get to 100K by the end of the year, which isn't impossible, the coupon code for MFJJ will give you 15% off for all of January. Everything you could possibly want that's allowed to be discounted will give you 15% off for the whole month. If we get to 100K by New Year's, please share it. Get your friends involved. Get us to 100, you'll get more money off. All right, so they're saying 32 axle to axle, and this is a little shy of that, just barely. I'll try to line that up right on that axle. We're going to the left side of the axle. Looks like 31 and 7/8, 31 7/8, something like that. It's a little shy. Let's check our brace height. It's at least 6 5/8. It would appear. Looks like about 29 1/4 to the pivot point there. Okay, 29 1/4. Let's check our reflex geometry. Looks like about 2 1/8 inch of reflex. Woo, 5.1. Now, we usually give 2/10 for that. The rubber dampeners are probably adding a little bit, but that's sure coming in heavy. I kind of want to do it again, just make sure the scale's not doing something weird. Well, we're a bit off there. So we're going to call that 4.9 pounds. And they're saying it's 4.5, so that's quite a bit off. Draw length to the center of the bolt hole is showing 30. So draw length's good. Let's get our load out point here. It's funny, their draw length's nailed, but their weight's way off. So this is a really long loadout point for this axle to axle size, 34 1/4. All right, let's shoot this. So we have the Elite VAROS. We're looking for 338 feet a second, if I remember right. 70 pounds, 30 inches of draw. Stock setting on the module, so it is like 90% let off right now, the highest position. You might gain a foot, turn it down, maybe 2 at most, just FYI, but that's where it came at, so we're just leaving it there, and it measured at 30 inches, so here we go. Oh, first arrow pull of the morning. Nothing popped, that's a good sign. 327 across the board on both. Yeah, it's very dead. 330, 330. So that's a 329, Jeff, and then one more. 326, 327. So I'll be at 328. 328 average at 350. Now let's shoot these 450s. 291, 292. So 291. 288, 289. So that's a 290 average now. 289, 290. All right, 290. Looks like our average for that. Let's shoot these adult arrows here. 244. 243. 245. All right, 244 average on those. Going to go ahead and change this down to 29 inches and then give you that speed. Okay, so now we are down to 29 inches. I'm going to pull on that cord. And 70 pounds and a 450 grain arrow, so we can get a comparable speed to figure out how much it loses per inch. 283. 282. 282. 285. 283. 282. 283. So we're going to give that a 283 average. Now we're going to set this at 65 pounds so you can get your realistic arrow speed. What is realistic arrow speed? Realistic arrow speed is the average configuration. 29 inches, 65 pounds, 450 grain arrow. It's what I'd really like bow manufacturers to advertise on their bows so the average guy, when he's seeing your speed, sees a number that he's actually going to achieve. Would sure be nice if they did that. All right, so we are now at what I call the realistic arrow speed. 65 pounds, 29 inches, 450 grain arrow, the average guy. Speaking of the average guy, not every average guy can afford buying a brand new bow. I know they're expensive, I know it's a lot. There was never really a good used marketplace for them, so we decided this year, and we're still building it, so it's still growing, to set up a used bow program nationally. You can trade in your bow with us nationally, and we sell certified pre-owned bows. We go through them, inspect them, check every part on them, replace the strings and cables with new gas, and resell them on the website. So, food for thought. If you really can't afford a brand new bow, but you're looking, might be an option for you. And also, you dealers out there, we do have a dealer portal. You can buy from us, resell from us, just like any other distributor does. And we will take your old product in as a used bow with a trade-in as well, if you're interested. 275. 275. 275. All right, 275 average for that. Now let's do some noise for you. All right, looks like we got 82 average. Let's go do, put her in the Torque-O-Matic 5000 and then we'll do some math for you. All right, here we go. Ooh, that was light. 1.9. 1.9. 1.86. All right, so 1.9 ounce. Okay, so we ended up with 290 on the 450, and then when we moved it down to 29 inches, it was 283. So that's only 7 foot a second loss per inch. So that's going to kind of be nice if you're in the 26-inch draw length range or whatnot towards the bottom of this cam. The realistic arrow speed number we got was 275. Once again, that's 65 pounds, 29 inches, and a 450 grain arrow. It's the speed I would really like brands to advertise going forward if they can, or at least show it so the average guy knows the speed he's really going to get. So let's add some of this up, see what we get. We had 82 decibels too, which is on the high side of what we did. So I think I'm going to jump ahead and put a 2 down there for sound because it's not the loudest one I tested, but pretty close to it. So your actual speed was 328. You said it was 338, 10 feet off. That's going to put you at a 10 for speed. Physical weight was way out of spec of what you said. Like ridiculously out of spec. I don't think I've seen one that bad. Ever. Elite. Bad. 4.9 for a 32-inch axle bow. You need to cut some more metal out of that. She's fat. She needs to go on a diet. Tunability. Can tune just about anything out of it, and adding timing to it. I don't know what else you can really make a bow do from a timing aspect that this bow, or timing and or tuning aspect that this bow doesn't already do, so I will give you high marks there. There's a couple other bows that I would put in a similar category with this because there's so many different ways to adjust it for ease of use without requiring a bow press, but I cannot give you a 15. I will give you a 14 because I bet there's another thing that you haven't done yet that you can add. Integrations and features. Great job. Low profile, lightweight quivers, front mount pick, rear mount IMS, multiple stabilizer attachment positions, V-bar bracket attachments. I can't ask you to really integrate more than you already have. You got your front mount picks, you got all kinds of accessories for those. I mean, once again, I can't give you a 10 because that would mean you couldn't improve, but I'll give you a 9. Honesty. Well, you're almost a ½ pound off on your weight. That's pretty blatant. You can't convince me that that's not like a publishing error or something like that, but it's on your card, published there, and I want to say that's the number we got when we did the podcast too, so I'm going to have to hit you kind of hard on that. Your draw length was within a 1/16 of an inch. Your brace height was spot on what you said. Your draw length measured exact, or sorry, your ATA was within a 1/16. Your draw length measured exact. Everything was going so good on the honesty front until I weighed this heifer. We're going to go all the way down to 8 on honesty, and it would be worse than that if you didn't have every other thing on here relatively in check and within 10 feet on your speed. I'm thinking going forward we're going to go down to 5 next year on foot per second because everyone's within 10 all of a sudden magically, and that's great, but why aren't we within 5 then at this point? If you know where the parameters are where you get in trouble and you're not abiding by, or you're abiding by them, maybe you can abide by 5 in the future. Feel. This bow does actually feel really good. I've always liked Elite's grip. It's very comfortable. It's contoured well. Very little vibration on noise, and that's a reflection of its speed and whatnot. That it's got noise, but doesn't really have vibration to speak of. I'll give you an 8 on feel. Design, honestly, I look at this and it looks very similar to things that you've made in the past. It doesn't look like you've really changed the bow much. So I can't give you really high marks on design. I'll give you a 5. Value, $12.99 for a 5-pound bow that shoots 328. Here's the hard part, guys. For some reason or another, whenever I do an Elite video, there are people in the comments that are just furious at me that I didn't praise them enough. This is the heaviest 32-inch axle-to-axle bow built that I know of. And 328 for a 6 5/8 brace isn't fast. I mean, there's bows that are quicker, for sure. I'm going to give you a 2 for value. Sorry. I think for what you're asking for a price point, that bow's got to be lighter or the bow's got to be faster or something in there. Appeal. The integration stuff makes it very appealing, but you already got integration up here, so I don't know. I'll give you a 3 for appeal. See what you get. 13, 23, 27, 30, 36, 44, 52, 54, 59, 61, 64. 64. There you go. Comment down below on how much I hate Elite, because I'm sure there's going to be about 20 of you that say that, because you always say that for some reason or another, but these are the numbers I got. Oh, tell me what I did wrong. Tell me which one of these things wasn't accurate or wasn't fair. I'd love to know it. Thanks.